Welcome everyone. This is the first episode of the Transmaxxing Manifesto, and we have me, Ali, and Corvalus 11. The joy of being a cute girl and everything you can gain from transitioning.
All right. So there's a lot of thrills to being a cute girl. Like a lot, for some people, it gives them butterflies in their stomach just to like even look at themselves in the mirror and just like it feels so amazing like how you get treated in the public, especially if you're passive.
Yeah, I think one of the nicest things is kind of the softness that you get, your skin, your hair, everything.
Yeah, and it's also true that you can get a lot. You can get a lot from men. There's
Yes, extracting resources from males is surprisingly easy. You know, it took me all of half an hour to get $50 from someone off Grinder once. So, and I didn't even have to do anything. I just sent them like a video.
yeah.
People always let me in buildings first. People actually once I was at the checkout and I hadn't transferred money into my account. I was only buying a couple things, an energy drink and a bit of food, and so my card declined, and a guy actually walked up and paid for it for me, which was really cool.
Yeah. I remember having this amazing experience with like a rebound where like one of the guys ghosted me straight up. And literally I just like texted a few other guys like telling them like the situation if they like want to hang out like right now because like some dude just like ditched out on me and like one guy came immediately and was like at my house in a half hour driving me to a hotel and paid me $500 just to have a good time.
That's amazing. Dating is also so much easier. Really, as soon as I started transitioning, the moment I actually selected female on Bumble, what's it called, Tinder, I just immediately started getting likes and matches. It's free, you might say.
Yeah, it was really free. Like setting up my Bumble in like the first 2 weeks, I already had 1,100 likes.
Wow, that's a huge number.
Yeah, it's definitely ridiculous, especially when you see like the guys' numbers and like, huh, look, I got 50.
Yeah, it's really good. Even with girls, like I've had upwards of 5, 10 likes in a day before. Usually it's closer to one, up to maybe five, but as a male, there's no chance of getting that so easily.
Like another thing I like is, I very much like appreciate feminine aesthetics. So like, and like being a woman, it feels like it's
Yes.
just much less creepy to like compliment them on their clothing and stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you compliment a girl about, her style or something, her, whatever, if you're a male, it's creepy, but as a female, it's friendly. It's, what you're supposed to do. So yeah, that's really, really important. I feel like females tend to be a lot friendlier to each other as well. Like when you're just at that acquaintance level of knowing each other, um, women tend to be a lot more friendly.
Yeah, I agree. Like, and they especially like try to connect more when you're a woman. I
Oh yeah,
remember like
absolutely.
all my interactions in high school because like sometimes I would be grouped up with like a bunch of women and like, it definitely kind of felt awkward and like, not the same. Like they wouldn't get into the things they would like now and like I
Yeah,
enjoy like all the girl conversations as well. Like just
oh yeah, it's fun. It's Yeah, it's really great. I mean, I've never been able to visualize, so a lot of the conversations are a bit different for me, but I love learning about style and hairstyles and I see you've cut your bangs. That's really cute.
Yeah.
Did I maybe have something to do with that?
Not exactly. I wanted
No?
bangs
Oh.
for a little while.
Yeah,
And
okay. I was hoping I could be like a trendsetter.
yeah, I think I saw them on you though, and that was like an influence.
Yeah, cool, cool.
There's
What else we got? Emotions. Oh my god. So actually having emotions when you're a girl, if you are dealing with an emotional situation, there's going to be a lot more detail to it, so it's going to be actually easier to understand. But also, people are so much more willing to listen and help, and give you a shoulder. Really, as a man, as a male, it's just expected to kind of eat it, deal with it.
yeah, exactly. Like yeah, you can just show like a wide variety of emotions and like just be like exactly supported and like treated much better rather than just like told to like basically fuck off with whatever you're doing right now. Because a lot of guys like they either like they are like very awkward about it or they're just like I don't know avoidance for it maybe.
Yeah, avoidance a huge thing. Like start talking about emotions, and a lot of guys will just shut down. I mean, if you're a male, if you're a female, that they'll be trying to support you any way they can.
Yeah.
And that's just a general thing. People would definitely treat you better if they think you're female. It's without a doubt. Like there's going to be people who are always like think about themselves. There's always going to be a guy who will push in front of you on the bus or whatever it is. But 90% of people will treat you nicer.
I agree. Like even in customer service, I felt like I was being treated nicer when I like fully came out and was like presenting fully femme.
Yeah, true. I think getting certain jobs, like obviously once you pass a little bit and you work on your voice, getting certain jobs would be a lot easier. Because of like forward facing customer service roles. I have a lot of people in that, like a lot of friends that I know. I thought about doing it, but I'm not actually that good in at talking in person, so I think I'd kind of fumble all the interactions. But it is possible.
I know I definitely am gonna. I've been considering getting into waitress just because in my area you get paid full on minimum wage, which is like $15 an hour here, and then you get added tips as well.
Yep. Just make all your money on tips.
Exactly, and it's like a lot better than like most of the other choices out there because most of them are like minimum wage or a little higher, and like you're almost making double the amount just from the tips.
Yeah, and as a cute girl, you've got to work less hard to make the same tips. Like, it's just much easier. People appreciate you for existing. Speaking of being appreciated for existing, another reason why you might get hired is as a diversity hire, especially if you're a cute trans girl. You're gonna have a very easy time getting hired because you're both a good look for the business, and there's often like rebates and incentives from the government to hire trans people. And I mean, in a lot of fields, the rate of male to female is already pretty low, so females just generally will get a lot of points. It'll be easier for them to get hired just purely because of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Has any of you experienced better hairline after starting HRT?
My hairline came forward a little bit. My hair started growing a lot thicker, but having transitioned a bit later, 23, I think a lot of the damage had been done for me.
So it became a little bit better, but it stopped it
Yeah.
from being worse at least.
So kind of above the side, where the sideburns were, where it would normally be really thin for a guy, it has thickened up a lot there. But my like where the widow's peaks are, it has only come forward like a little bit. Minoxidil helped a little with that, but yeah, I think that has a lot to do with how recently you would have lost your hair.
Yeah. I think I got pretty lucky because I transitioned in 24, but like I'm pretty sure I had like a pretty good hairline going into this, so I haven't really noticed a difference, but I didn't really notice a problem before starting
Yeah,
HRT.
mine's definitely gotten better, like visibly better over time. Just yeah, the hairline didn't move all that much for it. Um,
My hair has definitely gotten longer when on HRT, and like what I mean by that is like it seemed like it was kind of like stagnating for a few years at the same length, and then it like started getting lower than like the top of my breast.
yeah, yeah, my hair grows so quickly on injections. It's incredible. I cut it what not even a month ago, and I almost have to cut it again because it's not sitting like perfectly right. So get plenty of hair.
But yeah, I think a very liberating thing about just being a cute girl is like you're allowed to do a lot of different things, and like you're just seen as cute and quirky instead of like being completely weird.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can dress really alternatively. I mean, if a guy dresses alternatively, it might work for 1 to 10% of the guys, and then the rest of them you'd see and you'd think, oh, what a freak. But if you're a cute girl, you can dress as alternatively as you want, and everyone will think, oh, well, that's adorable. I've only ever gotten compliments for alternative styles I've engaged with.
When it comes to female spaces, do you find that to be an improvement from what you had before?
Well,
Uh,
bathrooms are cleaner.
yeah, the bathrooms are usually cleaner and like nicer. People are
Yeah, a bit
definitely
nicer.
like the women are definitely friendly and like, there's definitely it's much less awkward because I don't know, like just like the bathrooms and like even as a guy, I don't know if it's like different if you're like a manlier guy, but like I feel like in there everyone's just having an awkward time when someone else comes and stuff.
Yeah, you like pretend the other person doesn't exist.
Yeah, exactly.
But you in the female toilet, you might be washing your hands, get a compliment, return the compliment. It's friendly. Um, and in female, like only social kind of events, things things are always just so easy. There's no stress about things. There's not necessarily this need for a drive to be doing something. I found that's always pretty much a thing with male spaces and male events. There's always an agenda. There's something to do. We've got to do this and that, and I find female spaces are a lot more relaxed.
Yeah. I definitely like female social spheres as well in general because
Yeah,
like maybe it's just the estrogen that makes me connect better, but like men are usually they just got like one thing on their mind and usually that's just sex when they're talking to women and it's just like I can tell that that's what it is and it just gets annoying. Women aren't like that at all, so it's like you can actually have like a good conversation.
yeah, exactly. And you don't have to be worried that it's they're doing it for this reason or that reason. I mean, they've probably got their own reasons, but at least it's not because they want to use you. A reason that it's so easy to extract resources from males is because they've got such a drive to, do that.
Yeah, that's definitely a big thing you have to keep in mind if you're trying to do this is you have to deal with like a lot of dumbass men and like they'll say the dumbest shit or the same shit, and you just have to respond in a sexy way.
Yeah, you have to smile and laugh. You gotta make them feel like they're, charismatic. Even if they're not, you still laugh. You still make
Yeah,
them feel like they're having a good time, and then they'll make that worthwhile for you.
gas them up, and then they'll feel like the boss, and then they'll pay you.
Exactly.
Have you noticed any change in orgasm after going on HRT?
Orgasm?
Yeah. Like, is sex different now when you're on estrogen?
Yeah, so I guess starting with orgasms, they're more, I guess there's more breadth to them. They're more like holistic if they're felt more powerfully throughout the entire body. And they also last marginally longer. The amount they last longer would maybe, it could be 3 to 4x, sometimes up to 8 or 9x the length. But obviously, what is happening, how powerful it is, does vary between experiences. Sex itself, it feels a lot more intimate. It's kind of a hard thing to quantify. But yeah, it feels more important that there is that there.
Yeah. For me, a lot of times, like, even just like the thought or like, getting into like, yeah, just like sexual thoughts are like even much more pleasing and feels really good. And like, I can feel the tingling inside me when I used to not. And like, it's amazing to just the power of thoughts when I'm on estrogen.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, someone says something and it hits just the right way. I can
Yeah.
feel really good. Yeah, and it really does feel good to be complimented and told and made to feel, valuable, I guess.
Yeah. Being sexually desired is definitely a big thing. Like, I know for me, it's changed a lot, and for me, it's like a lot more romantic based, my like sexual attraction stuff.
Oh
So,
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I even have to tell the guys that are like doing the non sexual things to like disregard my erection, and like, they have to pay me more if they actually want to have sex, and like, me just being a little horny doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, yeah, that's important. Know your worth. Just because like if you're having some sort of encounter, especially if it's being, I guess, a working girl, you don't, if they want anything extra, then they're gonna have to make it worth your while.
Yeah, exactly.
Knowing your worth is so important.
And on the flip side of the knowing your worth it's basically the same thing, but don't cheap yourself out just because you're gonna enjoy the experience.
I guess. Yes. Yeah, just double dip, enjoy
Exactly.
it, and get the other benefits.
Because I know that's like a big thing for me is like I don't have too much of a taste in men, so like I honestly like enjoy it with like all the randoms that I have sex with. And like it wouldn't make sense to like just start charging 200 instead of 500 or whatever.
Yeah, no, cut your profit in half. That wouldn't be great.
Exactly. So just because you enjoy it, make sure you still go for your value.
Yeah, well, I mean, once if you start getting better at things, start getting more talented, you increase the price. You don't decrease it.
Yeah.
You want to be a high class lady. Something we kind of touched on earlier, but we didn't say this specific thing. you can really express your personality fully. As much as people think, you've got to have fully female mannerisms, fully, feminine personality, the reality is females have such allowances to behave however they want. A man has to be masculine, they can't be at all feminine, but a female can be masculine.
Yeah, especially with like how feminism has like made it so then like being a female can really be like whatever you want it to be.
Oh,
It
yeah.
has really shown that with like just expressing your personality. Exactly.
It's liberating, to say the least.
Yeah, I know it's a little hard for me to like express how I truly want to with my family still, just because like there's like a lot of old memories for me that I'm like trying to undo and like new changes for them, but it's like it comes out easier for like strangers, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you don't have, like, strangers don't have preconceived notions of you, so you get to immediately create that rhetoric for them, of who you can be. Whereas, your family, they've known you for however long, and from their perspective, you'd be changing, you wouldn't be revealing, you know. So I definitely had success with all genders. I never actually really, I didn't enter a relationship with a cis female after transitioning. I was in a relationship, but I ended that. I just found I couldn't connect with them as well. And like, this isn't like I could connect with males better. No, it was just easier. Um, and I guess it helped a lot because a very attractive trans female came onto me. They messaged me, and yeah, it just went from there. But I was, getting weekly matches of pretty attractive women and talking to them. But it never really clicked, not for me at least. But I had that opportunity and gave it up.
Yeah, I
I
know.
mean, you're dating a cis woman, aren't you?
Yeah, I am currently in a 2-year relationship with my
Yeah.
transbian partner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was also like my feminine role model for like the most part, like helping me with my hair. Like she's the one who cut my hair, by the way. She's helped with
Oh,
like a lot
shit.
of my makeup and
Yeah, it
like
looks really good.
yeah, she did an amazing job. And we even share clothes and stuff, so then we can
Oh,
like mix
that's
and
really
match, or
cute.
like she can help me like make a style out of her clothes or like my clothes or like a bit of both, and like since we're like the same size and stuff, it's like very easy for
Yeah,
the
it does
sharing to
make it
happen.
easy.
But yeah, I'd say that's a big thing I'd suggest is especially when you start transitioning, I think it's very helpful to have like some sort of feminine role model, someone to guide you in like things you should do and you shouldn't do. You could probably like find some sort of people like online with YouTube, but I find like, having someone directly there that can like give you feedback and stuff is a whole lot better.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I know for some people this can be like your mother, but sometimes, you're not so lucky and then you'll have to like find a good friend who can help with this that is willing to help.
Yeah, or even like, some sort of social service, like a social worker, someone you can just meet up with every so often, every couple weeks, have a coffee, just talk about feminine things, um, just so that you get like, I guess, a fuller perspective from someone you can actually talk to and talk about, and you can ask some questions because like a YouTube role model would be great because they're constantly putting out information for you, but it's much harder to actually ask them questions and have that kind of interaction, that kind of connection.
Yeah, and like especially the one-on-one will help with like
Yeah,
or like more people will help with like the feminine socialization aspect.
yeah, absolutely. You can go out shopping with them, for example, and then you can watch how they act and you can emulate it. And you can, I guess, if you have something you're not entirely sure of while you're out, it's a perfect time to just ask them, and then they can show you exactly what what they would do, how they would act, what they think is expected in whatever situation. Because expectations are a huge thing. Society expects you to act within at least normal people behavior. And like while you can express your personality fully, there's still certain things you should be doing. If you say the bus example, if you're getting on the bus and the men are going to let you on, you are supposed to get on. You don't, you don't try and bounce it back to them. That's for sure. You get a very confused look when you do that.
Yeah, I think there's like a lot of things you can do, but it's exactly that. You might have to approach it in a little bit different of a way.
When it comes to using female clothing, do you feel like it's a big advantage that you can it's socially acceptable to use feminine clothing where you are viewed as a female?
Yeah, so even just like in general, the range of clothing that you can wear is much broader. Females are allowed to wear masculine and feminine clothes. And also, a lot of feminine clothes fit and feel a lot comfier and better. Women's jeans are like stretchy and soft, It's not like male jeans where they're sometimes stretchy, never really soft, and always like rough.
Yeah, I agree. Like, despite what I've heard, like, on like TV and like just the stereotype that women's clothing is uncomfy, I actually find that's very untrue. And like, a lot of stuff feels a lot better. Like, there is some uncomfy things like wearing a corset, but that's meant to be a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, I mean, corsets change the way your bones sit, so I'd expect them to be kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah, but like everything else, like a lot of the flowy dresses, they just like sit on your shoulders and feel perfect. And the clothing, exactly, it's like super stretchy and like never have to worry about like it being like super like tight and like uncomfortable for the most part.
Yeah, like even a bra, you take it off at the end of the day, wearing almost anything because it's holding stuff up, it's going to be tight. But, I thought I'd be stressed out by it by the 1-2 hour mark, but I could wear it usually for 4 to 6 hours before I start needing to take it off. It's also a good feeling.
Yeah, I like the embrace of a bra. It's like, I don't know, I like the reminder and it just makes me feel more soft in a sense, I guess.
Yeah. The constant reminder thing's very...
And like, I used to wear one like before HRT and stuff, so it'd be flat chested. But now that like I actually have like breasts, it definitely feels a lot more comfortable to have them in a bra. And like the bounce also feels amazing when you're like walking around and stuff.
I remember the first time I went down a flight of stairs and they bounced. It definitely took me by surprise, and then I realized that people would be seeing that, and that, I mean, it made me feel exposed, but it also was very affirming. It was very empowering, I guess. Having that kind of power over people. Because, the secondary sex characteristics, that's definitely one of the biggest things that changes the way people act towards you.
Yeah, I found that was definitely an unsettling reality out there of like actually being a passing woman, where like it is a little bit dangerous to just be walking alone in the random city downtown and stuff like that.
Yeah, especially when it gets a little dark. It's sometimes kind of dodgy even walking down my street. I live one street off the main road, but I live basically in the city, so there's always a lot of people. Very easy to have someone walking behind you for a little bit too long and you get a little bit paranoid.
Yeah. But on the flip side, it is also more normalized just to have like people walk you home and like always have someone by your side.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always going to be someone looking out for you when you transition as a cute girl. You get taken care of. Even you don't even have to extract resources like money. If you are attracted to men, you find a decent man, he will take care of you and make you feel loved, and that's something that will really make some people happy. And power to them.
Yeah, exactly. Like, a lot of people are kind of skeptical with it, but I do think that there's a lot of guys that will stay with you and like make you their wife.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen that happen. I was just never attracted to men, not really. So
Yeah, I know that feeling. Like, I feel like I have like the most preference to trans women because, they're able to penetrate me, but like they're still very feminine, and like because I love femininity much more than like how men look.
yeah, how they look, how they behave,
Yeah.
everything except their wallets.
Would you recommend that more people pursue transitioning rather than like repressing or like doing nothing in like a bad situation as a male?
Yeah, so absolutely, especially if you're young, between the ages of 16 to early 20s, if things aren't going great, if you're not real happy, you have never been really happy, then you really can change your life. It can be what makes it.
Like there's some factors you might have to like pay attention to, like you wouldn't want to make yourself homeless just to transition because your family kicks you out and you don't have like anything backed up. But I definitely think like if your situation is safe enough, that it's definitely a great choice for a lot of people. I
Yeah,
also
and
don't want to suggest to anyone to like, possibly get themselves murdered if they live in a third world country.
oh yeah, that wouldn't be great. I mean, with family, you can like just hide it for 3 to 6 months. Family will you just be subject to cognitive dissonance. They'll see it happening, but they won't, because you haven't said anything, because you haven't changed your behavior, they won't say anything. So if you can move out in 3 to 6 months, then just jump on hormones.
Yeah. I can agree with that. Like the stealth and then move away to have a new life is definitely very viable and something people should consider if they have like transphobic family.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, exactly that as well. How you said like if your life is very bad and you feel like you've been unhappy, like a whole new life will likely have a good impact on you.
I think a lot of males are like unhappy. They will pursue things like joining the military or becoming some political extremist. And like this will only exacerbate their problems and it might even get them killed. Because I like pursue this masculinity thing. And often I see male like pursuing things where they think they will get like companionship, for example in a war. But like they're just going to see their so-called friends die or get themselves killed.
Yeah, you might get companionship, but you'll have that torn right away. You get real connection by transitioning and finding your place with the females and finding a partner, living a good life. That's the whole goal here. Of course, we do recommend people to make a cost benefit analysis. You need a list of pros and a list of cons, because it's not all going to be pros. There will be downsides, even if it is just not having the same male strength.
Yeah.
Even if it's just harder to maintain that.
I know that's a definite one that's been a bother to me is not being strong enough to do what I normally do. So then, especially at work, like sometimes I do some ridiculous things that like most people wouldn't. And now that I can't do it because of like how weak I am from estrogen, I try to get like a guide to do it. And a lot of times they just bitch out as well. So it's like, what the fuck? That is definitely something to consider, but another thing is to consider is, do you really want to be doing heavy lifting and stuff, or would you rather have a man do it for you?
Yeah, that's it. There's no reason to need to be strong as a female. As long as you can open a jar of pickles, then you are fine. There's nothing else you need to do. You need your car tire changed, just get a guy to do it. You need your oil changed, get a guy to do it. You're moving, ask all the guys you know, they'll move your entire house for you.
I think we're going to save those topics for the next episode. I hope you enjoy this.